warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A warm welcome to everybody. In this video, we will discuss Himachal Pradesh Service Commission exam of Assistant Professor of English Literature, right? And this paper consists of 100 questions, right? And at the end of the video, I will also provide the review of the same, right? Question number 1: which of the following poems is not written by Emily Dickinson? And option D is the correct, right? Answer of this question, because Nothing Gold Against Day is not a poem by Emily Dickinson. Rather, it is a poem. It's a poem written by Robert Frost, right? However, Emily Dickinson was a prolific and profound poetess, right? Thematic syndrome of her poetry is concerned with death and suicide, right? And she highly, highly exposes waspish culture and patriarchy, right, at that time, right? How women were treated at that time, right? That is the main thematic syndrome of her poetry, right? In order to understand what she has told, in order to contemplate, in order to ponder, you must ponder upon her poetry, right? So that is the only way to understand what she has told in her poetry, right? But she is one of the prolific and profound poets of American literature, and one of the pioneering, poetess of American poetry, right? She has contributed immensely in American poetry, right? Question number 2: Poole said my muse to me, look in thy eye, heart, and write who among the following poets has written the above line, right? See, there are two options. That is, there is a sort of ambiguity, right? However, Philip Sidney is the correct answer of this question. That is option B, right? Philip Sidney used these lines in order to invoke the muse, right? So that muse can help him to jot down some prolific and sweet lines for her beloved, right? And this line occurs in the sonnets, Canis, right? Question number 3: alone or alone, all alone, right? And this line suggests something about loneliness, right? And I'm reminded of loneliness jobs, even the great ones, right? And this line is alterative in nature, right? Alteration as a figure of speech is being used in this line, right? And this is a famous line, right? Whenever we quote examples for alteration, right, we quote this line often, right? And this line occurs in the Rime of Ancient Mariner, written by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, right? Question number 4: in which poem the following line occurs, right? Love, let us be true, right? And this is a famous line written by Matthew Arnold, right, in his poem Dover Beach, right? And in this line, he suggests his beloved to be true with one another, right? Dismantle all hypocrisies, right? Whatever the masks, right? You have, wear in order to hide your, reality, right? Disclose all the masks, right? Disclose all the complexities of love, right? Be one, be true to oneself, be true to your beloved, right? Question number 5: the patterns of variation in speech are known as intonation, right? It is very simple, right? Question number 6: Tragedy of the Whole Truth is written by Aldous Huxley, one of his famous work, right? The Hero as Man of Letters is written by Thomas Carlyle, right? Science and Values is written by Bertrand Russell, one of my favorites, right? Imperfect Sympathies is written by Charles Lamb, right? Option C is the correct answer of this question, right? Question number 7: which is not one of the three segments in Ars Poetica, right? Ars Poetica translated as art poetry, right? Poesis is there, right? Poema is there, poeta is there. B is not there, right? It does not occur there, right? And there is no such thing in Ars Poetica, right? Poesis means poetry, right? Poema means poem, poeta means poet, right? Option 8, question number 8, right? Among the following critics have written Principles of Literary Criticism. It was written by I. Richards, right? And this text gave impetus to new literary field that wasn't later known to be as literary criticism, right? And a new criticism, sorry, right? And this work was written in 1924, right? Question number 9: the study of production, transmission and reception of speech sound. This is known as phonetics, right? Option 10: which is the mother of all rasas, right? Shingara rasa, right? Option 1, right? Though they have misspelled the word Shingara, right? They have written Shirinagar, right? That is the misspelled word, right? Issue of misspelling, right? Question number 10: which of the following is not true about ode as a poetic type? Very simple question, right? If you have read out entry, right, from glossary of literary terms written by M.H. Abrahams, right? And ode is a form of lyric. Yes, it is true. Ode is not of Greek origin. No, ode is a word that is derived. Yes, that has roots from Greek origin. Right. Option B is itself not true. Right. Ode is often in the form of an address. Yes, we wrote ode in order to address somebody. Right. To specify something. Right. Option D is one of the most important feature of ode is its leisurely, slow, winding movement. Yes, right. It is correct. All of these options are correct except option B. Ode is not of a Greek origin. It is from Greek origin. Right. Question number 12: which of the following is not a characteristic of an elegy? Very simple questions, and this question is has been taken from the same book, right? Option A: mournfulness. Yes. Option B: absolute sincerity of emotion. Yes. Option C: philosophical and speculative element. Yes. Object: no. Object has nothing to do with elegy, right? It's not a characteristic of elegy, right? Question number 13: which of the following ballads is written by John Keats? That is Lay Bella, Dame, Sans Mercy. Option C, right? Only ballad written by John Keats, right? Which of the following is a mock epic? And we know that Alexander Pope was a prolific and one of the pioneers of mock epic, right? His poetry deals with mock epic, right? He used heroic couplet in his poetry, and the only work that occurs in this option is the Rape of Lock, right? Written by Alexander Pope in 1712 in 2 cantos. Later, it was published with 5 cantos on 1714, right? In 1714, right? Question number 15: which of the following stanza forms consist of 9 liners? The first 8 being a pentameter and the last an Alexandrian, right? That is Spenserian stanza, right? And question number 16: which of the following is not true? That is option C, right? Very simple, very simple. Who has written the essay The Law of Medusa? Helen Sextus, right? Very simple B question, right? Helen Sextus is a prolific and radical feminist, right? Her views, is totally different, right? As compared to other feminists, right? She was one of the feminists who questions the authority of men, right? By using, harsh, right? By using very tough language, right? Tough, analogies, right? Analogies, right? And she was the first feminist who questioned the pregnancy of a lady, right? Why women are supposed to give birth to a child, right? I'm not going to deal with this topic anymore, right? And but for your knowledge, I discuss this point. Question number 18: which of the following is not true, right? Queer theory insists that all concepts linking sexual behaviors to sexual identities or social constructs. Yes. Any, be it feminism, be it queer theory, right? Be it LGBTQ, whatever, right? These theories believe that the gender is constructive, right? Right? They believe it, and they believe it is constructive, right? It has nothing to do with biological process, right? Option B: Judith Butler is a contemporary queer theorist. Indeed, she is one of the pioneering of this field, right? Question number Option C: queer theory rejects the idea that sexuality is an essentialist category. Yes, they critique the sexuality, they critique the gender, they critique the logocentrism, they critique the phallic centricism, right? They critique everything that holds the authority, right? Option D is the correct option, because gay lesbian study does not change the notion of normative sexuality. It does change, right? It does change, right? Option D is the correct option answer of this question, right? Question number 19. Who has written the book Post-Colonialism? A very short introduction. See, Homike Baba has never written such kind of book, right? There is no such kind of book in his kitty, right? And Edward Said has written Orientalism, right, and other things, right, regarding to Palestine and other colonial things, right. It is Robert C.G. Young, right. Only famous work by Robert J.C. Young they have asked this in this exam, right. Question number 20. Who has written the politics postmodernism, right? Jean Baudrillard, right? C, right? He was a postmodernist thinker, philosopher, right? And question number 21. Who has written the interpretation of dreams? That is written by Sigmund Freud, 1900, right? And this book became the pioneering text of psychoanalytical criticism, psychoanalytical philosophy, right. It becomes a pioneering text for psychology, right, because Sigmund Freud was not a simple person. He was indeed, some may quote him as a, some may say that he was simple, but he was indeed a profound, right, profound. And when it comes to psychology, right, taking the name of Sigmund Freud makes psychology, right. Otherwise psychology is no more psychology without Sigmund Freud. He has immensely contributed in psychology, right. Question number 22. Which of the following has not been discussed by Matthew Arnold in the study of poetry, right? Historical estimate is there, right? Real estimate is there, personal estimate is there, poetic estimate is not there. Option D is the correct, right? I will also figure out here one thing. Sigmund Freud is a pioneering figure of psychoanalytical criticism, right? He has given many terms like ego, id, libido, right. We have the superego, right. We have phallic, penis, anvis, right. He has given this uncanny, right. Unconscious, conscious, right, so on and so forth. He has given many terms, right. So you must remember these terms so that they may ask this question in upcoming exam, right. Question number 23. Which of the following is not true about plagiarism and ethics in research, right? Plagiarism is simple. Kidnapping something, right? Kidnapping someone's ideas, right? And then ascribe them. It's your own, right? Plagiarism is not a breach of ethical conduct in research. पहला option ही ठीक है. Plagiarism is not a breach. It is a breach of ethical conduct in research, right? Don't look at the other options B and C and D. First one is the correct itself, right? 24. Question number 24. Who among the following has written the book Journey Down a Rainbow? It is written by G.B. Priestley, right? G.B. Priestley is ये आता है मॉडर्न एज में, ठीक है. ये बंदा जो था ये एसिस्ट था, ये इसने वर्क लिखा है, ठीक है. 25th question. Which is not the focus of British cultural studies, right? Cultural studies is an interdisciplinary field of study, right. And it was propounded by Richard Hogarth when he published his work Uses of Literacy in 1957, right. And Images of Women is the first option. Masculinity, opposition, history of sexuality, right. No opposition to dominant culture is the correct option, right, because they do oppose the dominant culture, and the field itself suggests that it deals with culture, right. Cultural studies has a link with Marxism, right, and when something has a link with Marxism, they will critique the class, right, they will critique the elite class, right, they will critique the upper class, right, they will critique everything that holds authority in society, right. So dominant culture holds the authority, right. It dominates every other culture in the society, right. It dominates every culture, right. And I'm reminded of I forgot, sorry. Question number 26 is which of the following is true? A linguistic sign is not a link between a concept and a sound pattern. It is a link between two things, right, between concept and sound pattern, right. And this concept was propounded by Ferdinand de Saussure, right. He was a Swiss linguist, right. The signifier is the concept or meaning associated with the signified. No, opposite of the same. They have given the options, but they are opposite. This signified is the physical appearance of the sign, such as word or image or sound. No. Option D, a linguistic sign is a link between a concept and a sound pattern. This seems correct, right? Option D is the correct, right? 27th, Sir William Jones of 18th century, right? He was an Orientalist educationist. Yes, indeed, he was, right? Did not learn Sanskrit and Persian, did not do research into classical traditions of India, interested to natives to their own culture, indicated as A and 4, right? A and 4 is the correct answer of this question, right? मैकेवलीज मिनट जो पब्लिश हुआ था ये हुआ था 1835 में, राइट? 2 Feb अगर कभी आए तो 2 Feb, राइट? When was the essay The Art of Fiction by Henry William James published? ये हुआ था 1884 में, राइट? Who is the biological father of Oedipus in the play of the Oedipus Rex? That is Laius, right? Laius, right? 31. Which of the following is the correct statement in reference to the play Waiting for Godot, right? Lucky is the slave to Pozo, right? Though Pozo is a slave to Lucky. Both C and D seems correct, but in the first act of the play, Lucky is the slave to Pozo. In the second act of the play, Pozo is a slave to Lucky. And they have not specified act here, right? So C and B can be taken as both as correct options, right? But in Act 1, Lucky is a slave of Pozo. We should go with the option, right? However, C is also there, right? C is also correct, but in Act 2, maybe they may drop this question. 32. Who among the following characters in the Dice of Malfi was engaged as a spy by Duke Ferdinand for spying on the Duchess? That is Basola, right? Basola is a very cunning character in this tragedy, right? He plays a very pivotal role in order to, spy on Duchess, right? And question number 33. How are the characters Willie and Charlie in the play Death of Salesman related to each other, right? Willie and Charlie are both friends, right? They were neighbors, right? And they were the businessman, right? And they were the salesman, right? And Willie was was a very good, kind human being, right? He was a good salesman, right? He went to other cities in order to pursue his dream, right? He was selling things right there and here, but unfortunately, he never matched the fortune of Charlie, right? And Charlie oftentimes, offer him a job, right? But Willie was highly, dismissal of this, offer, right? Because he never, because he was, competing. He was, comparatively competing himself with Charlie, right? That was his collapse. That was his hamartia, right? And there are two neighbors. Option B is the correct option, right? It was written by Death of a Salesman. It got published in. It was published in 1949, right? Question number 34. Which of the following themes has not been portrayed in the play Abhigan Shakuntalam, right? Kalidas ka play, right? Or theme of love is there, theme of exile is there, theme of power of fate is there, theme of beauty is not there, right? Two people, right? Two lover, right? They got separated, right? Then there is some ring, right? They find the ring somewhere in the tube, and when they find the ring, right? And that ring reminds another partner about her beloved, that his beloved is alive, right? Because that another partner has forgotten her memory, right? So that ring reminds of her beloved, right? 35. New historicism, rooted in history of imperialism. No, imperialism, whenever we talk about imperialism, post-colonial criticism is there. C with 4. Yes, option C is correct, right? D with 2, right? D with cultural studies with a field study and empirical observation. In culture, we do a field study, right? And yes, option C is correct, right? In text citations of different locations of a book are separated in a research paper, which is the correct format according to Emily's citation. See, they have not mentioned any specific, edition of Emily, right? Though we have 10th edition right now, we are using 10th edition, right? But most of the researchers are still using 9th edition of Emily, right? When it comes to 9th edition of Emily, right, we use the second name of the writer, who has jotted down the paper, right? First, right? That is Butler, correct? Then we have this page number 194, right? But after second name we do not use comma, right? But in option B we find comma. That is itself, we should eliminate that one. And in option C we find semicolon. That is also wrong. We find also semicolon in both cases. In option D, that's also wrong. Option A is correct, right, as per the Emily citation, right? 37. Who among the following has written the book The American Scholar, right? R.W. Emerson, right? Option D. Question number 38. Which of the following was not rejected by post-structuralism, right? The centrality of structure, right? Post-structuralism, right? And the use of binary oppositions, right? The interminate, the polysemic nature of Semitic codes, right? Yes, indeed. Option C is the correct, right? Option C is the correct answer, because Semitic codes was given by Ronald Barthes, right? He was a structuralist, right? And he gave this Semitic codes in his book, right? Mythologies, right? And in 1957, right? And in his book, right? And post-structuralism was a rejection and was a response against structuralism, right? That is easy, very easy. Question number 39. The British historian James Mill in the 19th century argued that India was a false claimant of nationhood. India deeds and epics were written in passionate language of poetry or far from truth. William Jones was right for high praise for Hindu culture. C is wrong itself, right? C is wrong itself. Indian epics are obscure, repetitive, ridiculous, right? And option A and D is correct, right? A and D is not there, but ABD is correct, right? ABD. C is not there, right? C is not there anyway. Which of the following is not appropriate for the text Huckleberry Finn, right? It's a tragic, right? Tragic. It is satire, right? It's children's literature. It's humor. There is no tragic scene in this, novel, right? Though this novel was written by Mark Twain. He was a prolific and profound American writer, novelist, right, and a short story writer, and he is being credited with being the father of American literature and father of English grammar, particularly American grammar, right? Question number 41. Indian writer in English Raja Rao wrote Sthala Purana in the foreword of the book Kanthapura, right? Kanthapura, my favorite. 42. Which of the following is not challenge faced by the indigenous language in India? Many indigenous language like digital resources like dictionaries, online tools and standardized scripts. इससे कोई impact नहीं पड़ेगा ना indigenous language पे, है ना? Emphasis on traditional language is a hindrance for development of indigenous language. ठीक, चैलेंज तो बी है, चैलेंज बी नहीं है, बाकी सब चैलेंज है, क्योंकि डोमिनेंट कल्चर ये भी चीज़ है, हिंदू इंग्लिश इन इंग्लिश और मीडिया ये भी चीज़ है, बट ऑप्शन बी इसका करेक्ट है, राइट? इन मिड नाइट चिल्ड्रन द बायोलॉजिकल फादर ऑफ प्रोटैगनिस्ट सलीम सिनाई इज़, पहला जो है मिड नाइट चिल्ड्रन लिखा था सलमान रश्दी ने, राइट? इसको फिर ये मिला था अवार्ड भी, इसमें पुलिट्ज़र प्राइज़ मिला था, बुकर प्राइज़ नहीं मिला था, ठीक है? और इसमें जो ऑप्शन है इसका ऑप्शन बी होगा, राइट? ऑप्शन बी, राइट? ऑप्शन डी होगा इसका आंसर, राइट? 44. रीड द टू स्टेटमेंट्स एंड चूज द करेक्ट चॉइस दैट फॉलोज. इक्वालिटी इज द स्टडी ऑफ ऑर्गेनिजम्स एंड हाउ दे इंटरैक्ट विद द एनवायरनमेंट अराउंड देम. Correct. An ecologist studies the relationship between living things and their habitats. Both option A and B are correct, right? तो option C होगा इसका correct, right? 45, right? Which of the following is not true about Mahesh Dattani's plea final solutions, right? The play depicts communal tension between Hindus and Muslims. Indeed, it does. The play depicts communal disharmony between Hindus and Christians. No. Only Hindus and Muslims are mentioned in the play, because both lovers, one belongs to Hindu community and another belongs to Muslim community. There is no such Christian community there. There is no such Christian community in the play. The play explores the theme of gender bias. Indeed, the play explores the theme of suffering of minority communities. Indeed, option B is the correct. Question number 46. Which of the following mute must be avoided by a researcher while finalizing his draft of research, right? That is sweeping generalization, ठीक है? जल्दी किसी एंड तक पहुंचना, जनरलाइज करना इस चीज़ को, खुद ब खुद ये ऑप्शन होगा, राइट? हु हैज़ रिटन द शॉर्ट स्टोरी द नेकलेस? मोपासा ने लिखा है, ठीक है? 48. Who is the mother of Tom Jones in the novel Tom Jones, right? Bridget. इसका अर्जुन जो फुल नेम है कज़न ब्रिजेट, राइट? कज़न ब्रिजेट इसकी ओरिजिनल मॉम होती है, राइट? गोया कि लोगों को लगता है इस प्ले में कि जेनी जोन्स की ये औलाद है, राइट? बट ये ब्रिजेट की होती है, राइट? ये ठीक है, काजम रिजल्ट की होती है। 49 ये तो रिपीटेड क्वेश्चन है, PYQ है नेट का, ठीक है। प्राइड एंड प्रेजुडिस इसका आंसर होगा। 50 का होगा द नॉलेज विद फ्रेडरिक लव अफेयर्स विद इंग्लिश नर्स कैथरीन। ऑप्शन डी वर्ल्ड वार सेटिंग नहीं है इसकी, ठीक है, वर्ल्ड वार लेना देना नहीं है इसका, ठीक है, क्योंकि 44 और 48 तक रहा था ना वर्ल्ड वार 2, और एफेबल टॉमस इससे पहले लिखा गया था, ठीक है। पब्लिश बाद में हुआ था बट इससे पहले लिखा गया था। जब ये पहले लिखा गया तो इट इज़ नॉट पॉसिबल कि फ्यूचर का कोई प्लान करे, ठीक है, वो भी वर्ल्ड वार 2 का, ठीक है। तो कभी कभार ये भी कॉमन सेंसिकल चीज़ों से आंसर हो जाते हैं। 51 स्टेफन डेडलेस स्पिरिचुअल डेवलपमेंट ने पोर्ट्रेट ऑफ द आर्टिस्ट एज अ यंग मैन टेक्स प्लेस राइट Epiphanies, right? James Joyce जो है वो famous writer था Epiphanies का, right? He was a famous writer of Epiphanies, right? And he often used Epiphanies in his works, right? Epiphany is a certain realization of thought, certain realization of something, right? And I'm reminded of Wordsworth. He has given the same idea of spots of time, right? When we have some special, moments in a day, right? When we realize something of the past and that is so sweet that we love to recall that moment, right? Question number 52, who among the following is not a Irish writer? G.B. Shah is there, James Joyce is there, D.H. Lawrence. Simus Hinney is also there, D.H. Lawrence is not an Irish writer, right? Question number 53, who among the following holds that the relation among units within the kinship system or any structure occur in binary pairs which are either similar to each other or different from each other? That is Claude Lévi-Strauss. Question number 53 का आंसर होगा B, right? 54, who among the following poets has another name Madhavi Kuti, right? That's Kamala Das. इसका एक और नाम था कमला सुरैया, right? माधवी कुटी ये जब ये हिंदू थी तब इसको लोग इस नाम से जानते थे, माधवी कुटी, राइट। जब ये मुसलमान हो गई कन्वर्ट, फिर इसको लोगों ने कहा गया कमला सुरैया के नाम से इसको जाना जाता था, राइट। 55 सॉरी, who among the following suggests that the cultural phenomena are not simply the results of objective observations but are shaped by power relations and discursive practices? मिशेल फोको, राइट। मिशेल फोको का एक जो है ना, मिशेल फोको he often deals with power, right? And Michel Foucault has his philosophies indispensable. You can't avoid his philosophy, and he states one is that the power runs through vessels, in our veins, the way blood does, right? And he gives an analogy of blood and power, right? The blood runs in our vessels, right, in order to keep us alive, right, in order to keep us functioning, right? And the same wise power runs in the society, right? And it keep things going on, it keep things going on, right? Question number 57, write the correct sequence of the doing on a paper, on research on a topic. Suppose you are supposed to write a research paper, right? What you are supposed to do first, right? You will select a topic, right? You will select a suitable topic for your research, right? Without topic you can't proceed your further investigations in your research, right? You have to select a topic, and when you select a topic you will work out on that topic. Option D is correct, because D, selecting a suitable topic, comes first, right? We are supposed to set this in a correct sequence, right? D, option D is correct, right? 58, and the following is not correct. As a form of communication, a research paper should present information, ideas, clarity, and precision. That's correct. Lively and intelligent writing is superior to research writing with documentative and pure presentation. That researchers' own ideas should be overshadowed by documented sources. No, own ideas, no. In research we are not using our own ideas, right? We use whatever the data give us, right? Whatever we have analyzed, right? Whatever the outcome is, it is based on the research, it is based on the data we have taken, not based on our own ideas, right? अगर ये अपने ideas भी होगा तो फिर ये subjective होगा, फिर वो research का part नहीं होगा, right? Objective होना चाहिए research, right? 59, ठीक है, qualitative approach about cause and effect. इसमें जो होगा ethnographic जो है ना approach, ये हम इथनोग्राफिक एक पार्टिसिपेंट ऑब्जर्वेशन और फील्ड वर्क पे करते हैं ना। इथनो जो है ना जियोग्राफिकल वर्ड है, इट डील्स विद द कल्चर, राइट? जब हम कल्चर की बात आती है तो ऑब्जर्वेशन और फील्ड वर्क में जाते हैं। डी का होगा 4, क्योंकि टाइम कम है इसलिए मैं जल्दी कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है। डी का होगा 4 और ए का होगा 3, राइट? ए का होगा 3, दैन मीन्स ऑप्शन बी इसका करेक्ट है, ठीक। हु हैज़ रिटन द प्ले जस्टिस? क्वेश्चन नंबर 16, जॉन स्कैलिसवर्थ, राइट? इजी क्वेश्चन। इन विच प्ले यू फाइंड द फॉलोइंग लाइन। सबकी फेवरेट होती है जब भी वो कोट करते हैं हैमलेट को, ठीक है। टू बी और नॉट टू बी, दैट्स द क्वेश्चन, राइट। ये जो कोटेशन है सजेस्ट्स दैट हैमलेट वाज going through a tussle either to live or not, right, either to kill his ankle or not, right, either to suicide or not. There are many interpretations regarding this quote, right. And another AC Bradley, right, he's a prolific and profound critic of Shakespeare, right. He is of this view that there was two states, right, that is Denmark and Norway, right. They were approaching to attack Denmark, right. Norway and another, state, right. They were supposed to attack, uh, mm, Denmark, right. And he's of this view that this to be or not to be, either they will attack us, either we will attack them, right. Either they will attack us and either they will not attack us, right. This like this he's up this way, right. 62 जो है कल्चरल पॉलिटिक्स जो है ना, ये नाम जो है सिंपल है, ये आता है स्टीफन ग्रीनब्लाट से, क्योंकि ग्रीनब्लाट जो है ये फादर है, पायनियरिंग फादर है न्यू हिस्टोरिसिज्म, राइट। और न्यू हिस्टोरिसिज्म का दूसरा नाम है कल्चरल पॉलिटिक्स, राइट। 63 है चलिए द वेस्ट और ईस्ट, और जब भी ईस्ट की बात आती है ना, ठीक है, किसने इसको ये ना क्रिटिक किया, चेंज किया, तो एडवर्ड सईद हमारा बंदा, क्योंकि ओरिएंटलिज्म में यही कंसेप्ट चलते हैं, ऑक्सीडेंट और ओरिएंट का, ठीक है। 64 एग्जामाइज शेपर्ड और कल्चर शेपर्ड, ये होता है स्ट्रॉट हॉल का, ठीक है। यही बंदा है जिसने बात की है आइडेंटिटी की, इथनिसिटी की, राइट। इसका कंसेप्ट ही है इथनिसिटी की, ये बस इथनिसिटी की ही बात करता है अपने वर्क्स में, राइट। 65 जो है हु हैज़ एक्सप्लोर्ड वर्किंग क्लास, इसका आएगा रिचर्ड होगार्ट, राइट है, रिचर्ड होगार्ट। 65 66 का आएगा ऑप्शन डी, ही इज़ नॉट अ काइंड, राइट, उसका हस्बैंड काइंड नहीं होता है, तो ऑप्शन डी इसका डायरेक्ट आंसर होगा, ठीक है। 67 विच स्टेटमेंट इज़ नॉट ट्रू अबाउट द प्ले आर्म्स इन मैन, राइट। It's a tragedy, it is a comedy, not a tragedy, right. Option C is correct, right. Which is not correct, right, about the house of Mr. Biswas, right. Paul has portrayed Trinidad as monocultural society. मोनो मतलब वन, तो एक कल्चर की बात नहीं होती है, मल्टी कल्चर्स की बात होती है, तो ये भी ऑप्शन सी इसका करेक्ट आंसर होगा। Who has written the book The Foundation of Indian Culture? Sri Aurobindo, right. Aurobindo, right. Option D. 70 which of the following is an autobiography? Long Walks to Freedom, right. ये लिखा है नेल्सन मंडेला की ऑटोबायोग्राफी है। अमेरिकन स्कॉलर जो है इमर्सन का है, ठीक है, E.W. इमर्सन का है, ठीक है। ये कैसे है विंडिकेशन ऑफ द राइट्स ऑफ वीमेन, ये मैरी वोllstonecraft ने लिखा था 1792 में। ये भी कैसे है द हिंदू व्यू ऑफ लाइफ, ये लिखा है आई गेस इट इज़ रिटन बाई maybe Nizam Iskal and maybe I'm not sure, but maybe Nizam Iskal, right. Which of the following, which is not one of the themes in Wings and Fire? The role of women in society, harmony and inclusivity, the power of dreams, vision and innovation, and question not attempted. Option A, क्योंकि विंग्स ऑफ फायर जो है इसकी ऑटोबायोग्राफी है, और ये बस पावर ऑफ ड्रीम्स, क्योंकि साइंटिस्ट था तो बंदा पावर ऑफ ड्रीम्स की बात करता है, विजन और इनोवेशन की। मैंने ये पढ़ा भी है, सोशल हार्मनी एंड इंक्लूसिविटी, तो रोल ऑफ वुमेन की बात नहीं होती इस बुक में। 72 which of the following is the opinion of Aristotle? Poetry is less philosophical than history. अगर इसी का अपोजिट होता है कि हिस्ट्री इज़ लेस फिलोसॉफिकल देन पोइट्री, फिर ये ऑप्शन ठीक होता, ठीक है, बट ये इन्होंने गलत लिखा है। पोइट्री डज नॉट हैव यूनिवर्सल अपील। अगर नॉट नहीं होता है फिर होता पोइट्री डज हैव यूनिवर्सल अपील, फिर ये भी ठीक होता, तो नॉट से ये भी गलत हो गया। पोइट्री इन्फ्यूज है पर्टिकुलर, अगर यूनिवर्सल होता तो ठीक होता रादर देन यूनिवर्सल अपील। पोइट्री इन्फ्यूज है यूनिवर्सल अपील रादर देन पर्टिकुलर, फिर ये भी ठीक होता, बट ये भी रॉन्ग है, राइट। पोइट्री रिप्रोड्यूस फैक्ट्स टू विच ट्रूथ इज एम्बिटेड। पोइट्री जो है ये नए नए फैक्ट्स देता है जिससे नए नए सच उभर के आते हैं, राइट। तो ये ऑप्शन डी ही करेक्ट है इसका, और ये भी आर प्रसाद की बुक से हमें मिलेगा, ठीक है, जब हम वहाँ पोइटिक्स पढ़ेंगे एरिस्टोटल का, ठीक है। कुछ ही पेज है, 4-5 पेज में डायरेक्ट वही से उठाया गया है क्वेश्चन। 73 which among the following critics has stated that poetry is the breath and finer spirit of all knowledge, William Wordsworth, right. Option D इसका आंसर होगा। 74 who among the following critics states that poet's mind is catalytic agent which enhances the poetic process rather than participating in it. T.S. Eliot ने जो catalyst से इसको कंपेयर किया था पोइट को, राइट। ट्रेडिशनल और इंडिविजुअल टैलेंट में, राइट। 75 का होगा ऑप्शन फिनोमेनोलॉजी, इट इज़ एडमंड हसल, राइट। ई एग्जिस्टेंशलिज्म बी, राइट। तो ई का होगा 2, राइट, A2, B3। हाँ, ऑप्शन बी इसको करेक्ट होगा, राइट। विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट ट्रू, 76 का होगा एक्शन, ठीक, ऑप्शन ए बी सी, ऑप्शन डी इसका करेक्ट होगा, क्योंकि एक्शन रिसर्च लिमिटेड, ये लिमिटेड नहीं है टू प्रोजेक्ट्स कैरिड आउट बाय टीचर्स इन एजुकेशन सिटिंग्स ना, ये लिमिटेड नहीं है। एक्शन रिसर्च किसी भी जगह हो सकता है। और एक्शन रिसर्च क्या होता है? एक्शन रिसर्च जब भी कुछ चीज़ होती है एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशंस में, कंपनी में, इंडस्ट्री में, किसी भी जगह, फिर हमें उसको उसी वक्त इम्प्रूव करना है, उसी वक्त उसको ठीक करना है। उसी के लिए हमें एक्शन रिसर्च चाहिए कि हम इसमें चार, एक साइक्लिक प्रोसेस होता है, एक्ट, प्लान एंड एक्ट, प्लान, और फिर क्या होता है, एक्ट, प्लान, समथिंग लाइक दैट। इसका साइक्लिक चलता है, ठीक है। इसका जो प्रोसेस है, पहले हम ये एक्ट करते हैं, फिर प्लान करते हैं, ठीक है, फिर अप्लाई करते हैं, फिर रिजल्ट है, समथिंग लाइक दैट। इन्फेंटाइल सेक्सुअलिटी जो दिया था, कंसेप्ट दिया था सिगमंड फ्राइड ने, राइट, सिगमंड फ्राइड ने, ठीक है। इन्फेंटाइल सेक्सुअलिटी क्या होता है? जब दो बच्चे होते हैं, राइट, दे आर अपोजिट जेंडर्स, राइट, they are exposed to different private organs, right, and infantile sexuality, and वहाँ एक उनमें एक ये होती है curiosity, he is opposed, he is something different than me, right, ये चीज़ें तो मुझे यहाँ नहीं जाना डीप में। 78 who has written the book Gender Trouble लिखा है, फेमिनिज्म, एंड ये लिखा है जूडिथ बटलर ने, राइट, 1978 में। 79 gender studies and interdisciplinary in both its roots and its methods, having arisen in literary and culture theory, sociology, anthropology, and psychoanalysis, correct. It examines the oppressive history of gays, lesbians, and other erotic groups. दोनों ठीक है, ऑप्शन ए इसका करेक्ट होगा। 80 का होगा पोलिसोमी एंड राइट। बी का होगा हैविंग सीन, B3, ऑप्शन बी इसका करेक्ट ऑप्शन बी नहीं होगा, ए का होगा पोलिस अरेंज, हाँ, सी का होगा फिर 2, राइट। तो ऑप्शन डी इसका करेक्ट है, राइट। इजी क्वेश्चन था बहुत। In which Shakespearean play do you find the character of Portia who has saved the life of Antonio, that is the merchant of Venus, right? But disguise में आता है ये जो पोर्शिया है, ये डिस्क्वाइस में आती है, राइट। ये एज ए पोर्शिया नहीं आती है, वहाँ पे बॉय बन के आती है, राइट। 82 में जो है ना, ये सबसे घटिया क्वेश्चन मुझे लगता है हमेशा, क्योंकि एनटीए वालों ने भी इसको बहुत मरतबा, जब एनटीए वाले जब इसको ठीक नहीं कर पाते हैं, तो बाकी पर सर्विस कमीशन वाले क्यों इसको मतलब एग्ज़ाम में डालते हैं। हाउ मेनी पिलग्रिम्स, देखो हम जब पढ़ते हैं प्रोलॉग में 29 है, ठीक है, 29 पिलग्रिम्स, राइट। अब क्या करते हैं ये लोग, 32 आते हैं, होस्ट से लेके 64 तक 31 आते हैं, 32 नहीं आते हैं। अब 29 जो है प्रोलॉग में, हम वही ऑप्शन करेक्ट करते हैं, ठीक। फिर ये कुछ और ही देते हैं, ठीक है। फिर एनटीए वाले भी इसको फिर रॉन्ग कभी कभार 32 बोलते हैं, पता नहीं क्या क्या बोलते हैं, ठीक है। उनके सोर्सेज पता नहीं क्या होते हैं, हमारे पास टेक्स्ट होता है जिसने लिखा भी है रातर का, फिर भी नहीं मानते हैं। तो 29 है एज पर माई जो भी प्रोलॉग में है, 29 इसका आंसर होगा, ऑप्शन ए। 83 नेम द एसिस्ट whose prose studies aphoristic, फ्रांसिस बेकन, ठीक है। एफोरिस्टिक होता है, एफोरिज्म्स जो होते हैं, जो शॉर्ट एंड पिची स्टेटमेंट्स होते हैं, they carry the philosophical notions, right, they carry the they carry the covert meaning of something, right, hidden meaning of something, right, और उनमें दानाई जैसी बातें होती है, right. Which of the following is true, right? 84 a vowel is a sound that needs an open air passage in the mouth, पहला ही ऑप्शन इसका ठीक है, right, E. 85 who among the following does not belong to neoclassical period, that's William Blake, right. Alexander Pope, Dryden, Johnson, these three are part and parcel of neoclassical period. However, William Blake was a pre-romantic poet, right. 86 who among the following women has dominated the consciousness of W.B. Yeats in shaping his poetic sensibility? Undoubtedly, right. English literature, we have come across many poets who have been betrayed, right, by their beloved, right, by their beloveds, right, and then they took inspiration from their beloveds in order to jot down some prolific and attractive and enchanting poetry, right. And same case happened with W.B. Yeats, right. Morgan was a poetess at the time, right, though he was not a poetess, he was a actress, right. And W.B. Yeats fall in love with Montgomery, right, and he tried his best to pursue her, right, in order to marry with her, and she was very reluctant. She did not listen anything from W.B. Yeats, right. She rejects every proposal, right, of W.B. Yeats, right. And Morgan was very beautiful. She was very beautiful, a girl at the time, right? And WB Yeats was madly in love with her, right? And when WB Yeats fall in love with her, right, and he was very mad, right? He was very crazy, right? And this craziness, this madness became his source for love, for his poetry, right? And it was an inspiration, Morgan, right? His separation from Morgan, and Morgan does not accept his proposal, right? Morgan always, rejects his proposal, becomes the source, becomes the igniting fire in his art in order to, pen down his pain in his poetry, right? And even we have other writers, right? 87, question number 87, who has written the book The Symbolist Movement in Literature, that Arthur Symons, right? Option A. 88, the epigraph to preface The Wasteland is quotation from Satiricon by Patronus, option B, right? 89, in which poem do you find the following line, the breath goes on, as some say no? Donner's and John Donner's A Valediction Forbidding Morning, right? 90 का ऑप्शन जो अगर लॉक लिखा है अलेक्जेंडर पोप ने E4, ऑप्शन डी, easy, right, very easy. Which is not true about Dryden's Absalom and Actophil. Absalom and Actophil is an allegorical poem written by John Dryden in 1611, right? It deals with politics of that time, right? Between whatever, there was two communities, right? Troyes and Whigs, right? And it deals with a biblical tale of rebellion of Absalom against King David, right? Option is correct because we are supposed to choose not true one, right? So not true, that is option A. Biblical tale of action of King David against Absalom, no, it's a biblical tale of rebellion of Absalom against King David, right? Arrange the following according to the year of publication. Very easy. Kubla Khan is a poem written by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, right? And it comes in Romantic era. Later other poems, they are from Victorian era, right? We know that Romantic era comes first, then Victorian, right? So option B, only option B we find Kubla Khan first, right? Then itself it becomes correct, right? Pi Deputy was written by G.M. Hopkins, right? And option B is correct, right? Very easy. In the epic Paradise Lost 67 में जो लिखा इसने, Milton deals with the fall of mankind. Indeed, the temptation of Adam and Eve was Satan and their expulsion from the Garden of Eden forever. Indeed, it's story of Satan's supremacy. No, it's not. भाई जब उसका फॉल हो तो वो सुप्रीमेसी कहाँ है उसकी, ठीक है? वो कुछ क्रिटिक्स बोलते हैं उसको हीरो, ये हीरो हम मानते हैं, कुछ क्रिटिक्स उसको मानते हैं, और हम भी फिर जब उसको पढ़ते हैं हम समझते हैं कि सेटन इज द हीरो ऑफ पैराडाइज लॉस्ट, राइट? और इसके लिए विलियम ब्लेक ने इसको क्रिटिक भी किया था कि जो मिल्टन था वो खुद शैतान की पार्टी में था, उसको पता भी नहीं था कि मैं शैतान का सपोर्टर हूँ, ठीक है? ऑप्शन डी भी नहीं है, राइट? तो ऑप्शन ए एंड बी, तो इसका ऑप्शन ए ठीक होगा, राइट? ए एंड बी. Which of the following is not true about Sylvia Plath's poem Daddy? Amazing poem, right? ये जो टाइटल से ही लगता है कि डैडी पे पोएम है, अपने बाप पे, राइट? बट इसमें एक क्रिटिक करती है अपने बाप को, राइट? इट कंडेम्स हिज ब्रूटल actions, right? His brutal treatment of her, right? How he treated her when she was a child of 8 years, right? And he was a brutal man, he was a cruel man, right? And she makes a general rule for every man that every man is like his father, right? Like his father, right? And he's not grieving anymore, right? He's not grieving anymore when his father passed away, right? And इसका जो ऑप्शन ठीक होगा वो होगा द पोएम वाज पब्लिश इन द कलेक्शन एरियल, राइट? एरियल इसकी कलेक्शन थी, उसमें ये पब्लिश हुई थी. पोएम कैन नॉट बी इंक्लूडेड इन द फेमिनिस्टिक लिटरेचर. ऑप्शन बी ही करेक्ट है ना? पोएम can be included in feminist literature, right? Because it deals with the brutality of it deals with patriarchy, right? How women were treated, right? Because Sylvia Plath is a woman, right? और इसमें भी यही है, जो मॉडगन का है वो भी है, बट मॉडगन नहीं मिली WB Yeats को, बट सिल्विया प्लेथ मिली थी टेड ह्यूग्स को, राइट? टेड ह्यूग्स जो था वो अमेरिकन इंग्लैंड का पोइट था, और सिल्विया प्लेथ जो थी अमेरिकन पोइट्स थी, राइट? इनके दरमियान अफेयर था, फिर इन्होंने शादी की, राइट? बट टेड ह्यूग्स ये कहती है कि टेड ह्यूग्स ने मुझे अच्छे से ट्रीट नहीं किया, ठीक है? ये भी एक चीज़ है, ठीक है? मिडल मार्च नावल लिखी है जॉर्ज इलियट ने, राइट? और 50 में यह पब्लिश हुई थी, राइट? फिर 97 का जो इंटीरियर मोनोलॉग लिखा ये यूज़ किया नावल्स में वर्जीनिया वुल्फ ने, राइट। इसको हम दूसरा नाम भी देते हैं, वो है स्ट्रीम ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस, राइट। अगर कभी कभार ये आए कि स्ट्रीम ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस किसने यूज़ किया अपने नावल्स में, तो वर्जीनिया वुल्फ, राइट। अगर इंटीरियर मोनोलॉग आए तो वो भी सेम होता है, वर्जीनिया वुल्फ, राइट। कुछ क्रिटिक्स इसको इंटीरियर मोनोलॉग बोलते हैं, कुछ इसको बोलते हैं स्ट्रीम ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस, राइट। लेकिन अगर ऑप्शन में चारों में जेम्स जॉयस का नाम आए और वर्जीनिया वुल्फ का भी नाम आए तो वी आर सपोज टू टिक जेम्स जॉयस, बिकॉज वो पायनियर था इस टेक्निक का, राइट। 98 जो है इसमें सिंपल क्वेश्चन है, क्योंकि जो एक्सपेरिमेंट्स विथ ट्रूथ जो एम के गांधी ने लिखी है 1929 में पब्लिश होती है, ठीक। जब ये 1929 में पब्लिश हुई है तो ऑप्शन डी आप देख लो खुद। It deals with Gandhi's experiences from his early childhood till India's freedom in 1947. कैसे पॉसिबल है यार? ऑप्शन डी करेक्ट है, कॉमन सेंसिकल क्वेश्चन है। 99 title of the novel Things Fall Apart is a quotation from the poem The Second Coming, right? Things fall apart, right? It suggests that the center collapses, right, by two forces. One is inner force and another outer, right. Inner is when we have a disharmony among the community members, right, among the nation, right. In nation we have different sect of people, there's a disharmony among the people, right. One is bettering another is bettering another, right. There is a deception among the people, right. Very deceptive people are very cunning and deceptive towards one another, right. And outer force is the force of another country, right, who is attacking us, right. And question number 10, how many phonemes are there in the variety of the English? 44, right. 20 vowels and 24 consonants, right. And it's about the phoneme sounds, right, not about the alphabet. We know alphabet is 26, alphabets are in 26, right, but it's about the phonemes, right. And from my side the paper was very easy, and there were some tricky questions though, right. But I guess it was very easy, because there was no such question which demands high critical understanding of a student, right. I would say it was a moderate, and some questions were very easy, piecework, right. And they were repetitive questions, right. If you have check out the PYQs from UGC net papers, right, and you would have scored amazingly good as compared to other students, right. Thank you, that's it from my side.